Belgium. So, like I said, I've been 6 times on training camps here, and I feel very familiar with the terrains and the mapping style. So, I think it will be a very exciting race, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yannick, what makes you being one of the best sprint orienteers in the world?
I think nowadays when the WOC sprint is split, or the WOC actually is split to forest and sprint, now more boys or more guys, more runners have like focused more on sprint. But I've done that already 10 years. So I think those 10 years, that's the most important. I've been preparing for sprint so long time. So yeah, I think that makes me a strong sprint orienteer.
And finally, you have been in 4th position the last 2 World Championships in sprints. How much are you eager to win this medal?
I think I'm not eager to win. Of course, I would like to win, but I think taking a medal, that would be already a very big step forward. So, and I believe I can do that. So let's do it.
Let's do it, sagde Yannick Mikkels her, og det som Per spurgte ham om, det der om, at han er blevet nummer 4 2 gange i træk ved det seneste VM, og han er mega sulten for at få en VM-medalje. Og han er jo en af de løbere, som har specialiseret sig i at være rigtig god til sprintorientering. Man kan også godt se ham løbe i skov en gang imellem. Men hvad tror du, det giver af fordele at have løbet så meget? Han siger jo selv, nu har han løbet sprintorientering som fokus i 10 år. Hvad giver det af fordele en dag som i dag?
Jamen, at man bare har været ude i rigtig mange forskellige situationer, prøvet mange forskellige problematikker. Sådan noget sprintorientering, det er faktisk meget komplekst at prøve at finde det bedste, korteste vejvalg. Så jeg tænker bare, at han har opbygget så meget erfaring, der gør, at han kan tage nogle beslutninger på ryggraden nærmest.
Inden vi begynder at tale om kvinderne, så skal vi lige tale om en mand mere, som også er en af favoritterne. Du nævnte ham ikke, men vi var ude at tale med Kasper Fosser fra Norge, som er regerende verdensmester på langdistance i skoven det sidste år i Tjekkiet. Og vi spurgte ham om, at han vandt en World Cup for en måned siden i Sverige på sprint, den første af den slags, han har vundet. Og vi spurgte ham, hvad det betød for ham at vinde den World Cup i forhold til i dag.
It means a lot. In Borås, I didn't really believe that it was possible, so I really surprised myself there, and I think I'm really well prepared for the sprint at WOC this year, and I have no reason to think that I'm not going to be competing against the very top places.
But you said you didn't believe that it's possible to win the sprint in the World Cup. Why do you say that like that?
It was a little bit about my entrance to the races in Borås. I had my training hadn't gone to plan previous months, and I was quite unsure about the shape. I think if the World Cup had been 1 week earlier, I wouldn't have made it in the shape that was needed for the World Cup play. So it was that close. So it was really nice to see that the body really responded well that day, and got to the next level physically just that week.
And now, what do you and the team expect from the individual sprint in Velje, the final competition here in Denmark?
Yeah, it's going to be tricky for sure. Probably lots of artificial fences and narrow street passages. We've been using, we've been preparing for this race for several years now actually, and I feel like we know Velje really well from street view, and we also made our own maps and tried to make some course examples. I think we're all really well prepared for this race.
And you are also prepared now for the final competition in Denmark.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my one chance this year to be an individual world champion. So I'm really excited.
Det var Kasper Fosser, altså Norges nok bedste bud på en medalje i dag. Han har været skadet, som han også var lidt inde på her, og stod derfor også over i tirsdags, sparede benene og har så friske ben, som han nu har. Hvor god er hans chancer?
Jeg tænker, de er rigtig gode. Jeg tænker, at han sagtens kunne være den, der regner med lidt kul.
Nu er det cirka 10 minutter til, vi skal sætte de første løbere i stedet. Vi tager lige en hurtig snak om kvinderne også. Der er jo en favorit, der sådan trænger.
Hello and welcome back to the 2022 World Orienteering Championships. We are live this evening from Velje in Denmark, and it's going to be a fantastic afternoon, evening of sprint orienteering. It is, of course, the last competition, the last race of these World Championships, and we will crown 2 more World Champions over the next couple of hours. It's going to be fast, it's going to be furious. They have already raced this morning from about 9:30 local time, and it was the top 15 in each heat who have made it through to the final today, except slightly one more. There was a joint 15th place in the men's, so there are 46 men who are going to be racing around, and the order today, the start order, is determined by those qualifications, the qualification standings in the heat. So those ones who qualified last will be off last. It's going to be an incredible set of racing around the city here. Again, lots of barriers in place, lots of little passages to go through, lots of route choice as well, and the organisers, the course setters have done everything they can to make this a very technical and exciting sprint race. We've got a glorious arena here in fairly central in the city, and loads and loads of spectators have turned up to cheer on their favourites. We've got flags everywhere. We've got a lot of people who've enjoyed the spectator races, and they really want to cheer on their runners, and they want to see a fantastic sprint final today. And really the course setters, the course planners have wanted to try and surprise the athletes the whole of this week's competition, and they've of course carried that forward into today's race, into this sprint final. What have they done particularly to try and make it something unexpected?
Well, first of all, they didn't place the start in the arena, which I think the runners will expect, because usually you want to give the spectators something extra and let the athletes start in the arena, but that's not the case today, so they will be starting outside the arena. Then they have, quite early into the race, they have a map flip, the men, so they are already at the second control. They will turn the map and continue reading at the backside of the map. So but this one is less to surprise the runners, but more to keep them focused, because it's quite a messy part, let's say, and there's a risk the runners would read to the wrong control otherwise. So I think it's quite a fair thing to do at that point. But otherwise, they also try to open some backyards, which are very private when you run through them, so you really feel that you're running through someone's garden. Yep. At one place, and that's something I think the runners, they don't expect. So you
can't plan for which gates will be open and which gates will be closed if you're doing all the geeking and stuff on
exactly. So suddenly we have some new route choices which you couldn't prepare with the old map, and I think that makes it very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Let's look back a little bit at the qualification before we see the map itself. Were there any surprises? It was pretty straightforward, to be honest.
It was pretty straightforward. We don't have the world champion from last year, though, in the final, Isaac von Krusenquen. He struggled a lot with injuries during the last month, and he didn't make it. He came 16th in his heat, just missed out by I think 2 seconds. Yeah. So very close, but I don't think it was so unexpected for him. He had a lot of troubles during the last weeks and months. So, but otherwise, all the favorites are through. Some of them had a bit more problems than others. We see a quite good group of favorites already quite early into the race. For example, Daniel Hopman, Mika Kirmula, Emil Svensk, also Matthias Kiburtz quite early, or at least midfield. So it's going to be interesting from the beginning. And now we see the map and we see the start outside the arena. And we start with a short control, and then the second control, it's a very important one. There's a route choice, and this is the area in the middle there, the yellow area, where it's very crucial to run there. I think this is an important route choice. And you see at control 2, you have the map flip, and it's because of the reason that you don't read to number 5 on the way to control 2 already. It's a lot of intense orienteering in the beginning, and then you have a long leg to control 9, another route choice, another chance to run in this backyard there, and then you have a map change at the arena passage, and so you can't use this long leg to control 9 to read ahead, and then it will start directly with quite a tricky route choice to 11, and 13, and then especially in this part here, control 14, many options. Then 15, 16, 17 and 18 might be a surprise, but there's no route choice at all there. But then 18, 19 again, I think there are like 8 different options you can run. It's a very good option to go straight out to the left and all around then. 19, 20 and 21, some other left or right route choices, and then we're back at the finish.
Yeah, so that's the course. It's got a good mixture, I think, of lots of different types of sprint orienteering, and you've got to be good at all of them to basically be able to win, for me.
Yeah, it's very intense, especially in the beginning. I mean, you have this short control to the first one, and it's no route choice, but still you have to be focused, because it's not, you don't see the control directly from. You have to read your way to the control, and then you have this route choice here, and I think that the green route will be the best. It's, in my opinion, I think it's very important that you run either the yellow or the green one and you cross this backyard there. Because it's quite a bit shorter. I mean, 50 meters, it's quite a difference.
Yeah, but you have seconds to see that. You know, if you think about how close that first control is, you'll probably see people stopping there, and then they've got to make that decision. That's going to be incredibly tough. But I think if you make the right decision at that control number 2, it's also going to benefit you to the control number 9.
Because it's a good route choice, the red one here, and you have been there before, so then you can push a little bit more. You can kind of just run. You don't have to read to see where the passages are, and then once you're out, almost halfway there, when you get out of to the road there, I mean, then it's from there it's an easy control. It's mostly running. So there you have a very clear change in rhythm in like your orienteering, because the first 8 controls were intense, and then you get a lot of time to run there, and you get a lot of time to kind of relax a little bit in your head, and then. But of course, as I mentioned before, you have no time to plan ahead because you don't have the map yet.
No, exactly. You've got this map change. And this is Idebo back then running out of control number 13. Again, another route choice on this one. And there's one, I think, not even shown on that map that you could do. It just gives you a little bit of an idea about what the streets look. They will be much busier than this, though, I'm sure.
You can see the route here, 13 to 14. You can run back. There's quite a steep stair there where you have to go if you go the yellow route. So I think the green one is quite a good option here. But distance-wise, it doesn't really matter. But of course, the red one is quite a bit shorter, and it's an easy control always when you can. Head out of a passage, just cross the road and head into another passage. That makes it very much easy, because if you run along a road and you have to find the passage to the right, it's much more difficult, or to the left, of course. But if you just cross the road, it's easy to see the passages.
Yeah,
so that makes it easy.
More than half of that leg, the red leg, is just going straight on the whole way. So it's much easier to execute from that perspective. But I think it's hard to see because you've got to back out. Although for me, the runners are starting to see that you've really got to check routes where you back out of the control, because they may well be really, really good. Okay, as we said, the start list then is determined by the result from the qualification this morning. So Tommy Hayes, Francesco Mariani, Janis Benek, Eric Dola, they were all in 15th place. And then we work up, as you said, that group of Daniel Hubman, 3-time sprint champion, will be very, very strong. Mika Kimmerer as well, a really strong Finn who maybe underperformed there. Emil Svensk as well. Aston Key, I think we want to watch out for him. He was looking on fire. He was in, I think, what I called the heat of death in this knockout sprint. He could maybe have had the chance a little bit better. Then we've got the group of Ralph Street, Matthias Kibberts, you know, those two, we really, really want to watch out for them. And then we start heading towards those who qualified fastest. You know, we have never really know how, if people hold back a little bit, take a few extra seconds, you know, on the qualifier if they're confident of getting there. But for me, really, from Kasper Fosse onwards, we've got Fosse, who of course didn't run in the knockout sprint, Tim Robertson, who has been missing that win. He's got a silver and a bronze. He really wants to take that, and a few others who are in search of their first ever World Champ sprint.
Would also like to highlight Jakob Etzen. He has been running very strongly the whole week, and he was very good in the qualification this morning. So definitely he's in great shape, just peaked for this World Championships, and he will be eager to show what he can do today.
All right, here's our first starter, and it's a bit of a special start, and you will see why in just a moment. Because they head out of here, out of that door, cross the road, and the start triangle is not very far away, and you've got lots of decisions to make.
And it's a very good start because you can't see anything from the surroundings, you can't see anything from the course. There's no risk that you can see the runner ahead of you heading out, to see in which direction they will go.
So he'll pop out from the trees. The control is just to the left, on the very, very left of the picture. There you go. You can see him running through there. It's a very, very short one to number 1. And what we want to see is how prepared he is now from control 1 to control 2. Looks pretty good. And does he take the route choice we think is the quicker one?
We'll see. Now he's heading out to the street there, and then he would just run over the street and head into the new passage, so we didn't really see which route he chose there.
Okay, number 2, Francesco Mariani. Really strong junior athletes. We should mention there's so many different nations have qualified for these finals, particularly strong. We should have mentioned it when we saw Tommy Hayes, New Zealand, getting loads of runners. I think 5 runners into the final is really, really impressive for them. Both good distribution in the men's and the women's as well. Really impressive.
See there. Don't really see yet very event. Tommy Hayes kind of lost the GPS there. Maybe we can follow. Let's see now. Yeah, he's heading into this backyard, so good route there.
And he looked pretty strong flowing through the control as well. There's also, of course, there's an option you can start on the red route and then loop back to join the other route as well. Okay, Janis Bronek from Austria next up to start. You can see they're looking at the start clock really, really strongly. It's a very tight corner out there towards the first control, towards the start point even, of course, and they're yet to even make the start point. And I think they've been kept in the quarantine in the building, being turned around just on their routes out to the start. They're not really going to know exactly where they emerge. And now we can see the first difference in these route choices. Mariani going that longer red route. It's not always the case, but this time it is. Green is the best, maybe yellow the next best, and then red. It
seems to me that Hayes hesitated for a long time there, because I mean the tail is 60 seconds. This is not a replay or anything, so they're live, and he definitely lost time there in the beginning, and I think he didn't see any good route choice he could take.
He came out of the control very strongly and then stopped maybe. Eric Döhler then from Germany is next off. Just managed to make the mark in qualifying.
It's his first WOC final in sprints.
And now you can see Mariani just catching up Tommy Hayes there, I think, because this is live, this GPS tracking. You can see Bronek and Mariani are very similar. Of course, we've not got the next part of the map on the screen here. There we go. You can see it now. There's a little route choice again. Fairly easy from 2 to 3, but there is a route choice for 3 to 4. You've got to come back out the way you came in, but then you can go left or right. I think for you to turn left is much better. Robert Merl, also of Austria. Very experienced orienteer. He's been in positions like this many times before, but though probably more often in the forest.
Også begrænset, hvor spændende det er at se.
So we can follow him all the way through. You could just see him kind of slow down as he came out from the trees there. Got to be really careful, and he goes in too early. He's not read his control descriptions.
That's a mistake.
That is a mistake. It's just the other side, and I have to say
it's a bit a cheap one, because you have to expect it to be on the other side.
You would really, I think. I have to say, it was hard to see when we were pre-running that one. I personally had to check my control descriptions.
Yeah, but you did.
Yeah, exactly, I did. Andy Stutimas from Latvia then. And now we can be behind the first starter then today, Tommy Hayes. We know he's lost a bit of time already. We think there was maybe a bit of time, and now they dip in and out of these. It's a train line that goes overhead, and you've got to go, this is him in towards control number 7 then. It's really, really small passage to follow there. Punch control 7, and I think we will get the split time at the next control then to see Tommy Hayes set the pace here. Fairly easy control number 8, but this is another route choice then on the way to control number 9. But it looks like he has made his mind up, at least the first part there. There's actually a lot of different ways you can go from there. But if you were to go back through that, the garden place, the back gardens, then you needed to do a sharp right back out of that control, I think. For a disciple then here from Belgium, and the Belgians, really impressive qualification for them.
Yeah, they have 3 runners in the final, so we also have Wouter Huus and of course Yannick Michels in the very end, or second last starter today.
Yes, he is really one of the favourites, and he's one of a few who haven't run the knockouts sprint. He's kind of focusing all of his efforts on the individual sprint. It's probably more of a distance that he favours.
You can see there's almost no one seeing this route, the straight route through the backyard. And this Bonek here to split 1. So he's now back there at this railway bridge looking for the control.
So he goes the other way than we saw Tommy Hayes go. He will go left out to the main road and then back into the control. Of course, you've really got to, there's quite a lot of different passageways here, and they've actually been quite good to mark some of these undercover passageways that have a gate on them. They've marked them as passageways, but with a black line against them to show that you can't go down. But there we go, we can see that it is Mariani in the lead at the moment, and they get the time, of course, from this next control, this 8th control. So the Italian is looking good, and the Austrian's really trying to look at these routes.
But
now,
you can really get a feeling how intense it is. It's very hard for Bonek here to get ahead with his map reading, so it's not really proactive map reading here. It's always a little bit behind, and this leads to those hesitations.
Okay, Bojan Blumenstein then from Germany, next off.
Had some illness in the beginning of the week. Problems, didn't start in the sprint relay. Was back then for the knockout sprint.
All right, this is our first runner through the arena passage then, Tommy Hayes of New Zealand. And at this point, he can't do any map reading. Instead, he goes through the water.
He has to go.
He has to go through the water. And he will pick up a new map just around the corner. We can see him about to turn the corner and get a new map then, where it'll be a very, very short control afterwards. You can also see the Italian. Here he is, Francesco Mariani, looking strong. It's quite, I think it's deceptively deep water there. I chose to go through it. Jonas, you decided to let me, to watch me go through it when we tested it earlier.
I took the chance to just
stay dry,
observe from the outside.
No, I need, it's a warm afternoon. I needed a bit of cool down. Okay, Robert Bell, looking very strong, and you've got to spot this little doorway behind the car. You can come out here.
But he still has to go to the next control, so he's losing time compared to Mariani. We saw some problems there in the beginning, the broadcasts.
Again, everybody going straight through that control.
There's Yannis Bonek at the arena passage. 8 seconds behind Mariani.
It's just a little bit of entertainment.
Quite kind of good technique there.
Yeah. There was almost something of a steeplechase technique there. Okay, here's the second of the 3 Belgians in this men's final, Wouters. He also made it, I think, through to the knockout finals.
And then 1 minute after Wouters, we have the 3 times world champion in his 15th sprint race at the World Championships, Daniel Hubmann. So very soon, I mean, one of the at least favorites for a top 10 today.
Ooh, and Didymus nearly misses that little doorway through to the 7th control, but not too many problems. We will follow him through. You can see he's already behind Francesco Marinari, the junior world sprint champion from Turkey last year. But a lot of people losing a significant amount of time early on. No, here he is then. Daniel Hubmann. We said it was his 15th start. And
the first start this week for Daniel Hubmann.
It is the first start this week. He has got 1 race and 1 race only. But this is really where his strength is in the individual. You know, he knows he's not got the really, really sharp pace anymore to match with. You know, we saw some very young, young medalists in the knockout sprint.
Yeah, if you want to call the kibbutz a very young runner.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I'm happy for you to correct me there. But you know, he's not got the pace, but he knows how to do this technical orienteering and knows how to push himself individually, make really strong route choices, and make it work here.
And this will be very interesting now if he will see this route through the backyard.
I think it's uncertain, but I think we've only seen 1 person do it so far.
Tommy Hayes in the beginning, the very first runner, but he had some hesitation there before he decided it.
Yeah, I think it would have been good if he was certain with it, he would have been quicker. Okay, Mika Kirmala, also a really strong name, made the semi-final in the knockout sprints, the Finn, and you can see there the 2 sides of the map. You'd maybe be surprised to only see 2 controls on the first side of the map, but I mean, such is the technicality of these first 2 controls. It's hard to, you haven't got any time to look any further anyway. But Daniel Hubmann, he knows how to get it right when it matters, and this is a good route choice from him.
And it will be interesting to compare his route here to the other ones, to the red one. But I think this is a very good decision to run here. And then you have been there before, you know that this option exists. So when you go back to control 9, you have already seen that option. You know that you get through, and you know how to get through there.
I think it's a double win. If you spot it can win you time on 2 and on 9. But Emil Svensk, you can see he is a European champion, and this is his only race of this week. So he's really going to go all out to do his very, very best in this 1 race. Is it an advantage to not have run this week? It is a fairly spread schedule, but still demanding.
Oh, interesting. Mariani was faster there on the route just around.
But Hubmann could have gone a slightly more direct route, I think.
Exactly, he could have done it a little bit better there. So I think it would have been faster if he went the grid option all the way. But to come back to your question, yes, it is an advantage to not have run before, but it's not an advantage if you haven't been running due to illness. So it's...
Absolutely. Sorrentana Erdem then is the first of the Danes. I think 5 of the Danes through to the finals. Really strong results for them. And I think this is the one where they're going to show their strength maybe a little bit more. They're going to get huge support whenever they come through this arena. This is the 6th control. We're looking for Daniel Hubmann.
This is Wouters.
It is Wouters, so we have to wait again for Hubmann. There's some runners going in the background, but you've got controls 2 and 3 in that direction as well. So we're looking for the Swiss 3-time sprint world champion. We will give up waiting for him and instead focus on Le Capburn, who was one of those who fell actually on the knockouts sprint. He managed to recover very impressively, make it all the way through to the final as well. So where he finished 5th, so very impressive stuff from the Frenchman. He is absolutely built, and he's going to make light work with this sprint, I'm sure.
And here is Hupman.
Here is Hupman. So we will follow him now under this railway and on his way to the 7th control. And how stressful is it when you have the running cam this close behind you?
Well, I don't think that he will care. I think it's stressful the first times when you haven't done it, and if you don't feel too confident, but I don't think that seriously that he cares about this. He has been in that situation many times, and he seems very focused here.
Incredibly focused, he always is, Daniel Hupman.
And a little bit behind Mariani, who had a great start here into this race.
But not too far behind, but
this is a good option, and that's what we talked about before. He has seen that route here, and he's going there again. This is Mika Kirmula on his way to the first TV split.
And he is ahead at the pre-warning. It's looking very, very good for him. At the finish, we've just had our first few finishes. Oh. So different route then to number 7. I wonder if it'll lose many time. And then we will see him as he passes Emil Svens, who's gone the other way. And he is in the lead, a new leading time, but we don't think that's the quickest route that he's going to take there.
Let's mark this. We had 17 seconds disadvantage for Hupman.
Joe Lynch then out of the start, another one of the Kiwis. And back again at the start for another of the Swedes, Max Petterbeimer, part of the gold medal winning sprint relay team. He ran the second leg on that after Lina Strand gave him a huge lead. He was incredibly solid on that one. So maybe slightly underperformed in the qualifier. So too Emil Svensk actually as well. So we will see. They've got a lot of potential to make some really, really quick times. So let's follow Svensk then. Looking very, very strong. We'll see him coming through here. We'll check his map maybe for the direction to the next control, and we'll follow him all the way through to control number 8.
Good start, quite okay start here for Emil Svensk, but he's losing time compared to Kirmula. At the same speed, a little bit behind Mariani as well, and also he is going straight, so the left route choice.
We've now actually had Francesco Mariani at the finish, and he is not the leader though. Yannis Bonek has had a good second part.
Hupman option, and you can see that now.
It's live here.
Hupman is actually past Mariani at this point. So let's see, he was 4 seconds behind. Now he's 15 seconds ahead, so it's a big difference here. So he was almost 20 seconds faster on this route here.
Impressive stuff from Daniel Hupman, managing to see that little passage through the garden. And then, as I was saying, it's a double win because it's the best route both times.
Yeah, but he didn't really execute it well the first time all the way, but he has seen it, and now he could choose it again the second time.
Mika Kirmula then here. He is in the lead at this point. Goes through the water. He will soon. He can't read his map at all at this point. It's just running because he's done all the part of the course on that map. He will get a new map just after he crosses the bridge. You can see there is 2 people in pink and a map wall, so he will pick that one up there, discard his map, pick up a new one, and then there is a About 100 meters of running before the next start control. We will follow him here, see how it looks. And then there's a very interesting little tricky first control.
It's a rather easy control, but there's a route choice. It's like a little maze up there. And there is Loïc Capin.
Okay, Capin at number 6. Let's see what he can do. Team, you've got to say, have had some quite good results at this World Championships. They were in the top 6 on the sprint relay, and of course Loïc managed to get into the final of the knockout sprint as well. We also had good runs, people like Cécile Calandry as well, a really strong young sprinter. But Capin is down already. He is slower than Hoos and Mel, and also not the best route choice here either. Okay, back at the start then, Ricardo Rancan from Switzerland. It's very distinctive because he always runs in a cap. If you're spotting him, it's quite easy to, and he looks like he is just getting himself kind of focused on the start line. You see him looking at his compass, got his control descriptions there as well, straight out of the start, folding the map up immediately. Okay, here's Søren Erdem. He's coming through the arena passage now. He's going to get a huge cheer from the crowd here, and he is down though in 4th position.
And you can see that Houtman is only 9 seconds behind here at the first TV control. He was 18 seconds behind Kirmula. So it's about 9 seconds faster he was there. So maybe that Mariani had a little bit of problems there on his route as well, but we can say that it was about 10 seconds faster to go straight on the way to control 9.
Okay, back at the start then, Jakub Blunek from the Czech Republic. As we know, the Czechs have been a strong sprinting nation for many years now. But the man, Wojciech Kral, not on the start list today through illness. And now we can see kind of our second TV point here, up these stairs, more towards the south end of the map, where this is the sequence, as you were saying, Jonas, in the map analysis, where they have a few quite easy controls, but you've really got to have good flow.
They're very easy controls, so there's no route choice at all. Might be a bit surprising for the runners, but I mean, they will just take it and relax a little bit in their head and maybe read ahead to the next route choice, because there's quite an important route choice coming at control 18 later on, where you of course can lose time if you pick the wrong one.
Okay, Ralph Street here narrowly missed out on the final of the knockout sprint a couple of days ago. He's going to be wanting to put in a really good performance here. 5 Brits as well who managed to make it through into the final. And of course the team had good performances as well, but Mika Kirmula, is he still on good speed? We will catch up with his time at the next control.
And he was actually in the lead at the first and at the second TV control. So at the first TV control and at the arena passage, and it still looks good here. He will take away the lead from Hoopman.
It looks good here, but has... Ooh.
4 seconds ahead. The lead at the arena passage was 9 seconds.
And actually, that 4 seconds that he was ahead is nearly gone now, because he completely stopped at the control. And we were kind of saying this when we ran around. It's easy, but the runners aren't expecting it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later, I am absolutely sure, because I want to focus on Matthias Kibberts, who's just about to go. Emil Svensko into split 2. Fairly easy sequence of controls here, but it's almost too easy. You don't expect it to be this quick, and I think that's why Mika Kirmula was thinking, is there a route choice here? No, there isn't. You just have to kind of go plan A.
Yeah, I mean, often you have one control or two controls, it's kind of transportation to the next route choice. But here you have 3 or 4 in a row, and it's mainly because of the TV pictures. I mean, if you're honest, because they really wanted to have this nice building in the picture, and then of course it's a compromise, and it's surprising for the runners, but I mean that shouldn't be any problem. Here we see different route choices. Hard to say which one they picked. I think
most of them have gone the green. Oh no, I think Hubman maybe went the red.
But you can see that it's very tight between those runners here. Svensk a little bit ahead, but they are all 3 quite equal at this point. 18, and here there's an interesting route choice coming. The best thing is, as we mentioned, it's the red route there all the way around. Now we didn't see who picked which, but here we are with Max Peter Beimer, and he is 13 seconds behind, but only 4 seconds behind Hubman at that point.
Yeah, Max Peter Beimer, not a bad start to this sprint final. There's still some time he can catch up.
And a runner with a very good start, I think, Ricardo Rancan very soon.
As long as he gets this doorway right, it's looking very good.
Let's see here, 10 seconds left, so might be a little bit behind.
And Hubman here into the finish then. Let's see what Daniel Hubman can do. He will go into a clear new leading time then. Daniel Hubman just sneaking under the 15-minute mark. Impressive stuff from Daniel Hubman.
And just to give you the time from Ricardo Rancan, he punched 7 seconds behind Kirmula at the first TV split in position 3.
So Daniel Hubman will be on the leader's chair then. I wonder how long he will be there. Relatively early starter, but we've got loads who are already out in the field who could do really well. Mika Kirmula is in here then. He's just got 2 more controls, 1 more control, and then the finish line for him, and it's very close. You can see just seconds either side of Daniel Hubman, or the leader anyway, at each point. So Mika Kirmula, can he take the new leading time here? Really fighting hard, and I think he's going to take it. He is rewarded with a new leading time, just 3 seconds ahead of Daniel Hubman, and that disappearing out of picture there is Aston Key.
And he is running fast, Aston Key, once again. From Australia, the youngster here, committed this second TV control.
He is a youngster, but I think he's still the oldest in the Australian team. They've got a very young team around, and you know, I think the more experience they get, the more impressive they are going to be for me. Okay, this is Ralph Street. Looking very strong through this particular section. Let's see what the time will be. We'll get that at the next control.
I was a bit disappointed after the knockout sprint. He didn't make it to the final.
But he's looking good. He lives in Oslo. And we always like to joke by the fact that he's become a sprinter, and this is a good route choice.
Yeah, it is a good route choice. He backs out from the control here, then he will go to this backyard, the same route as we have seen Hubman. Hubman was about 9 seconds faster on this route.
Emil Svensk is already too late to take a new leading time here. He's worked so hard around this one. But it's not to be. He heads into 3rd.
And something we can say now after a few runners in the finish, it's very hard to pick the right route all the time. So I think it will be the runner who has the most of the good decisions today who will end up on top of the race. And here we are with Matthias Kiburtz.
The knockout sprint world champion from Switzerland. He has really started to make that discipline his own, but will he be able to match the time of Ralph Street, who's currently leading at control number 8? Looking incredibly smooth here, but the time is ticking down.
It's not very much time behind, maybe 5 or 6 seconds. But we also know that Ralph Street, he picked a good route to the next one. Not Kiburtz.
Not as good for Kiburtz. It's only 5 seconds down now, but we reckon, you know, if you don't go that way, you could lose 10 seconds on that route choice alone. Here is Søren Trane Erdem then at the finish for Denmark. Let's see what he can do. He will get, I'm sure, an extra second of power by the support of the crowd here. It's been really good how many people have turned up this whole week to support their runners. You can just see him losing time on the leader, Mika Kimmela, every single split control pretty much. He had a strong finish, but not enough. He will be in 5th place then.
And now we got the Orienteering Federation from round 3 to
So standings at the finish then, we can take a look at that. Mika Kimmela, our current leader, just 3 seconds behind Daniel Hubman. And it's kind of strange running a sprint final in this way when we're so used to kind of seeing them seeing a start list determined by world rankings, that it's all determined by the result in the qualification. So if you had a bad result, you're going to start early. But here is Aston Key. Look at the times. They are strong here from the Aussie. He is going to perform very well. He was a fantastic junior, especially in sprint orienteering here in Denmark as well, taking the title. And Aston Key is going to be the new leader here at the finish. He is working incredibly hard, and he takes the lead. Little bit of a fist clench there. Impressive stuff from the Aussie.
I think he might have chosen a bit of a bad route choice in the beginning because he was behind, but then he really turned up the speed. And I mean, look at this time. If you look at the finish time, it's 14:34. Usually the winning time is between 14 and 15 minutes. So if we look at that, there's a very good chance that he will end up in, let's say, the top 10 at least.
Double thumbs up from Aston Key. And we have Martin Regborn. Just see his little steppy steps on his way out. Such as, you know, you completely get thrown out into the course here. It's really hard to figure out where you are. Lots of sharp turns and lots of map reading to do to the first control, and then even more importantly to that second control as well. Very, very exciting stuff. Okay, we can have a little look. This is how it looks live on the arena passage. We're actually live with Matthias Kiberts then, who's just gone through the arena passage. At that point, Street was ahead.
We can tell you that Kiberts is still those 5 seconds behind, so it didn't really matter this route here, at least for those two. So maybe if you really can play out your running speed on the way to 9, it doesn't matter too much, but still think for most of the runners, the straight route through the backyard will be the best one, the best option.
Alexi Niemi out of the start as well. And we're really kind of getting towards the last 12 runners here, those who qualified best. Maybe not the best ranked in the world, but they had the best qualification races, so they get the privilege of starting towards the end of the list. Here's Tavad Sansad Aidsmo, semi-finalist in the knockout sprint.
So looks quite fast here. We'll follow him to the first TV splits. He's coming around the corner here, punching at control 7. And this looks good for Aidsmo, so maybe a new leading time. We also see that Adrien Delaine is in the lead here, so it's 1 second faster compared to Ralph Street. So now it's a shared first position.
But probably not the quicker route choice there out of that control, I think, as we see Max Petterbema into 4th, just pushing down Emil Svensk. So 26 seconds is the gap behind Aston Key. Okay, Gustav Bergman now, and he is an all-rounder, but probably stronger in the forest for him. This is his only race of the week. His best result from a sprint, I got it as 17th back in 2013. It's quite impressive.
Now we're with Ralph Street, and he had a good start into this race. So let's see, let's take him to the second TV control. So first it will be this control in front of the building at the top of the stairs, and then around the corner here, and then we will get the split time for Ralph Street.
He is working really hard. I think he's caught up Jakub Glonek from the Czech Republic. That was the runner ahead of him, so impressive there. We're going to get his split time next at this control.
Also a very good feedback for him, of course, catching the runner in front of him. Maybe in some parts he can kind of take the back here. And this is the new best time for Ralph Street, 4 seconds ahead of Aston Key.
This is Emil Øbro from Denmark on his way to the 8th control, but you can see he is already down on the leaders there. The leader, Håvard Eidsmo, who we just saw go through. Of course, we are showing these pictures for the Danish crowd. Oh, in the first one we've actually seen
hesitating here, and here we have Kibbutz on the way to the second TV control. He was behind Street. He was 5 seconds behind Street at the arena passage.
And the seconds have been very, very close. Maybe losing a bit of time in the beginning, but it's really, really tight, this sprint for me. Incredibly tight margins. Let's see what the time is at the next control then. The time is ticking down to that of Ralph Street. We're looking into the right, see him come through. Here he is.
Oh, this is tight.
Incredibly tight. He's 1 second behind the Brit. Incredibly close here from the knockout sprint world champion. Of course, former sprint champion back in 2012 as well. This looks like Lucas Leland.
Yeah, you could really see how he was just not pushing very hard here to be sure that he will get the right route to control 9.
And unfortunately, Lucas Leland not had the best world championships. These are standings so split too. He made that mistake on the second leg of the sprint relay.
But still got a medal.
But still got a medal, indeed. His team incredibly strong. Martin Regborn then here. And oh, you could see that pace slow down as he heads into the control to see what he can see. And make the decision, either go straight on at that point. Ricardo Rancan then into the finish.
He lost quite a bit of time here on the second part of the course. It's only 12 seconds behind at the first TV control.
And now we follow Alexei Niemi again. And it was good for him at the pre-warning. If you see bottom right of the screen, that control number 5. Anything can happen though between there. Lots of opportunities, very small margins, just use a second from hesitation.
Coming here, good start for Alexei Niemi. He's not taking over the lead, but into a 4th position, shared 4th position.
But he goes back out of that control and takes that way, but a couple of seconds lost there just in that decision making, having to lower the speed, having to turn around the corner.
Here we wait for Adrien Dulaine. The good split at the arena passage, only 4 seconds behind Håvard Eidsmo, and 13 seconds behind now. But let's see, here's Ralph Street on the way to the finish.
Here he goes, he's going to be racing the Aussie Aston Key. It's going to be incredibly close here. He's fighting all the way for the seconds. What will it be? 2 seconds slower than Aston Key, and Key maintains that leading position. Incredibly tight stuff, and we know there's lots of good runners, Adrien Dulaine, Matthias Kibbutz to follow. But Gustav Bergman has had a good start here. Only 1 second off the pace. Look how close it is as we see Luca Basse going the other way. Started a little bit later. He, of course, didn't make the finals of the knockout sprint. He was just outside the qualification mark.
And you named it. Now we have Ralph Street into second. Soon we will have Matthias Kibbutz on the way to the last control and then to the finish.
And here in the arena, the Swiss cowbells are ready. Here he is. So this is the last control, but doesn't look good for me. He's not going to take a new leading time. I think he's going to be a few seconds behind the time of Ralph Street as well. So Matthias Kibbutz into 3rd place.
And now you can really see how much worth that time of Aston Key is. He had a brilliant run here, really.
Yes, to be beating particularly Kibbutz, it just shows it's an incredible run. And for me, Aston looks quite nervous to be waiting for the others. Here's Jakob Edson.
And for me, this is one of the, maybe not the favorites, but a very interesting runner today. Will be very motivated to run on home ground here, and had a great week so far. Many good performances in the qualification for the knockout sprint, also in the sprint relay and in the qualification this morning. Here we can see the different route choices. Howard Smoo, Aston Key and Ralph Street. See that Ralph Street went straight there, Aston Key taking this extra turn. And they are synced. So it was quite a bit faster actually to go straight there, but we can see that Aston Key must have lost time there at one point, because otherwise it can't be like this. That Street is so much faster going straight, more or less on the same route.
So for me, there's opportunities for people like Gustav Bergman to catch a few seconds. We saw some people make mistakes. There's an opportunity for others to go faster. This water is deeper than you think, and he makes his way towards the map exchange with a strong start from Gustav Bergman. This is his only race of these championships.
The only individual race.
The only individual race, you're right. So too is Kasper Fosse. This is his only individual race. He, of course, won in Borås last month, but questions about his form. Had an injury.
Not really about the form, more about his injury.
Well, yes, that's what I mean about the injury. Questions as to whether he will be able to push it full speed. But if anybody can run through the pain, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If anyone can run through the pain, it's Kasper Fosse. But we will now take Adrien Delaine to the finish. You can see he must have lost a big amount of time between control 13 and 16 there, because he is well off this pace.
I must have picked the wrong route there. 1 point. Maybe from 13 to 14, because the other ones were not really route choices.
Looks pretty happy that, maybe.
Not sure about that.
A bit of a grimace there, maybe. And what a shame to be so close at control number 8 and then lose some time. It must have been in a route choice or an error or something, because he didn't lose too much time after that mistake either, compared to the others.
And this is one of the big favorites for me today, Tim Robertson. He was his orienteering style in the knockout sprint was very impressive. He had a lot of trust in his technical skills there. Was taking many own route choices.
Yeah, and he has a silver medal from 2018 in Latvia. He has a bronze medal from the Czech Republic in 2021. I know he wants to.
And
he wants
here
to win.
we have an interesting name, Howard Sansad Eidsmo, on the way to the last control. And I think we will have a new leader very soon.
I think we will. It's really looking good for the Norwegian. You can see those green colours to the right. He has really been incredibly strong in the finish here, and the time looks good as it ticks down towards the line. Just the power of this athlete into the line, and it is a new leading time. Congratulated by Aston Key, who vacates the leader's chair. It is now Eidsmo who is going to take that spot. He was a semi-finalist in the knockout sprints. And we can maybe have a little look here at how it was done.
None of them had the fastest route to 19. But then here, it's so hard to say the gaps here. I mean, no problems, no different route choices as far as I can see.
Just some incredible pace through the little passages, turning the sharp left and then right into control 21, and made it really work hard. Okay, Gustav Bergman, we'll take him to our second TV split, which for the men is control number 16.
And you can see he had some good speed there. He was almost about the same running speed as Eidsmo so far at all of the split times. And radio controls, there was a crash, or at least almost a crash.
If you're out shopping in Velje today, you've got to be aware.
10 seconds left for him to take over the lead here. Will be very tight. I think he might be a few seconds behind at that point, so he lost a little bit of time from the pre-warning towards this TV control.
But if you compare it to, say, Street and Key, it's still looking very good. Okay, here's Florian Hovald. His best result was last year with a 6th place. And is he a outside shot?
The last hope for the Swiss runners here today.
But here's Kasper Foster. What can he do?
And you can see at control 5 he had a 5 seconds lead. Launching at control 7 here.
We'll take him through to control number 8. It's looking good for Foster.
It's looking really good for Foster.
He just looks up maybe to see the next route. You can see how flat and how still he's holding his map. Oh, a little bit of indecision.
But you can see that he spotted the other route as well. It's just a decision thing here. Yeah, he went there in the first time. You see that both Eidsmo and Foster went straight there, and both of them, I mean, they're first and second to the first TV control. So it's definitely a good choice to go through this backyard. And not then splitting up there. You can see it's just higher running speed there by Kasper Foster.
Here's our second to last starter. He was 4th the last 2 times we've had a Sprint World Championships. He is desperate for a medal, and he has pinned all his hopes, individually at least, on this individual sprint. Didn't run the knockout. He's an incredible track athlete as well. We will follow Martin Regborn then into the finish, but he is late. He will get into the 5th spot. So he's the top Swede at the moment, but we have Gustav Bergman very, very shortly, I think, into the finish. And here's the last starter. 4th is also his best at the World Champs level. 3rd is best at the European Champs. And I was chatting to him yesterday after the knockout, and he was saying this is really a better distance for him. He doesn't feel like he's got, 1,500 meter pace that you need for a knockout sprint. He really feels that for him, it's his 5K, 10K pace that can pull him around a course like this, and he tends to work into it.
And look at this. This, I think, will be an advantage for Gustav Bergman. Let's see here. My feeling is that he will come to this 19th control with a bit of an advantage.
But
it's very tight. It's very tight here.
It's very tight.
So very soon to the last control and the fight for the lead here.
Here he is. Can Gustav Bergman take the lead away from Håvard Sandsad Eidsmo?
Yes, he can.
The gap is good on the splits. And Gustav Bergman is going to be racing for a new leading time here from Sweden. He is really working hard. It will be a new leading time.
That's very impressive. That's very impressive. It's the first one we have seen with this good route at the very end, and he seems to have chosen very, very good all the way. So that's this will be hard to beat, definitely.
Tim Robertson, goodness me, what has happened to Tim? Because he is 44 seconds. Oh my gosh, let's have a look what happened.
I think we'll get the answer very soon. He sees this. Oh, he's running into the wrong passage there, has to back out. This is, that's the time loss here. I mean, that's the risk if you take this route. You have to be very sure where you enter. Florian Håvald.
Let's see what he can do also behind. But he takes a good route choice here. You can see the way he kind of angled in that control and turned around. It's always quicker, of course, not having to turn around, but this looks like it was the shorter route choice. Here's Yannick Michels then, and he's on his way to control number 7.
Let's see if he's one of the big favorites who can be close, but he is 10 seconds behind at control 5 already.
Let's see. Turns around, you can see him checking his map.
Wasn't the best route here to this control either.
And he's already slower than that time of Kasper Foster, who we haven't seen through at the second kind of spectator control yet. But a good route choice here, even if he is 12 seconds behind.
And this looks very good for Gustav Bergman. He seems to be satisfied as well.
He's such a perfectionist with his races. He will know exactly where he has done well, where maybe he's lost time. As we follow Luca Basset then, but mistakes on the course from Basset, from the Frenchman. I talked to him after he was part of the 2000 winning team, and he was really saying Forest is his strength. It's been unusual for him to focus so much on sprint this year, but he's not happy, I think, with that route choice. Looks over to see Gustav Bergman as the leader. Not good for him. Here's Chris Jones, though. What has he done? Chris Jones, I think, always makes the running look... He always looks like he's running slowly for me, but he's just... It makes it look very easy.
This will be interesting now. He can definitely be a threat for Gustav Bergman. So he's... Oh, look at this. It's a big lead there at control 13.
It's a green card for Kasper Fosse.
And you can see that two of the runners who weren't running the knockout sprint now in the lead here. At this point of the sprint. Kasper Fosse and Gustav Bergman. And this will definitely be a new best time at this second TV control.
He has got
16
seconds to spare here. Kasper Fosse, the gap is 16 seconds, and we've seen the margins are so tight, but not for this Norwegian.
We know there was one route choice, and we know that from control 18 to 19 that Gustav Bergman chose a very good route. It'll be interesting to see, but Fosper will choose there. Maybe we'll see it here.
It's a whole control ahead of Bergman. That's just impressive stuff.
I hope we will stay a little bit longer on the GPS, just to see which direction Fosse will exit this control. I think he will turn up there.
And where we
still don't think
straight north there, didn't we, pretty much?
The difference is not 16 seconds, even though I think it's a little bit faster to go the way Bergman did, but maybe it's only, I think it's about like 3 or 4 seconds. So this looks very, very, very good for Kasper Fosse.
Well, a lot of this sprinting is just not about taking the worst route choice all the time. You've got to take maybe the second best one sometimes. Always works. Gustav is celebrating with his family. Here's Ricardo Scalet then. He's the 5th last starter through split number 2. We will follow him through. He's too far behind here.
Still, it's a good race. He's in position 9 here, so he's still on the way maybe for a top 10.
Yeah.
This exit, not the best exit here. He will lose a few seconds.
It was great to see him take that medal on Italian soil in that middle distance race right at the back end of last year.
Thomas Krifta on the way to the finish.
What can the Czech athlete do here?
Maybe
He's already
a top
late.
10.
Yeah, looking for a top 10 result. And fighting hard here into the finish line. Taped up a lot on his shoulder, you can see. Now we've got the pre-warning for Kasper Fosse, so we will see him very shortly into the finish. In fact, we will follow him a long way, I think,
at the
at the back
here.
here.
This looks really good.
Our running camera ops have to work really hard to try and keep up with him. He is on his way to control number 21, and the gap is looking good. You can see there, green card all the way.
And he has about 50 seconds to go to the finish.
There's a very sharp turn you have to take here. That's why he goes out to the right. He's already well prepared this one. Going round here into the control itself. And now the cheers are here in the arena for Kasper Fosse.
Looking for Jakob Edsen, who is on the way to the finish here.
But he'll be followed very shortly by Kasper Fosse. Here's the Norwegian. He is working really, really hard to set a new fastest time. He has led all the way around this course. Kasper Fosse crosses the line. He's looking odds on to be the next world champion in sprint orienteering. There are only 5 men behind them. One of them is here, Florian Hovald,
But there, I don't see anyone who can be a threat here. Maybe Chris Jones, but I mean, from the others, I think this looks very, very good for Kasper Fosser. I mean, now we have to say it was a good decision for him to skip the knockout sprint. If you can come back like this and take the lead by 16 seconds. And I mean, there's another gap from position 2 to position 3 between Gustav Bergman and Håvard Eidsmo. It's another 13 seconds there. So it's 29 seconds he has to the third place.
Here's Yannick Michels, second to last starter, but you can see he's late compared to the time of Kasper Fosser.
But he's maybe a threat for Gustav Bergman.
Yeah, can he get in amongst the medals? Not if he does things like that. Losing a second here and there, but his time 21 seconds. A couple of seconds behind Gustav Bergman, who is currently second in the finish.
And here we have Chris Jones, Yannick Michels and Kasper Fosser together in this picture. Maybe the runners who are fighting for the medal here. And you see that's clear lead for Fosser, but behind there it's actually quite tight. And we also know that there is a fight for the medal between Michels and Bergman, so Bergman would be in this group as well. Here we have Chris Jones on the way to the second TV split.
He is the last starter then today, so he knows there's nobody behind him. His finish position will be his result. He's already behind Fosser, but can he sneak then into second place at this point? It's looking good for second there, comfortably ahead of Eidsmo, 5 seconds there, and we'll see what he can do in the last stages of this race. We follow Chris Jones then. Around through to the control number 17 there, you just see it on the left, and number 19, he's looking very carefully at the route choice.
Yeah, exactly, a lot of map reading there, and we know that there is not many route choices coming at like the following 2 controls. So my guess is that he is already preparing the route to control 19, which of course is a very smart thing to do at this point of the race.
Standings at split 2 then, with everybody having gone through. Here is Tim Robertson, and we will take him through to the end. We saw a big mistake. He ran into the wrong garden on his way to control number 2. He lost about 40 seconds. And for me, I mean, what do you do when you've done that? You kind of know your race is over, don't you, really?
Yeah, definitely. He knows that he's not good for a medal today. And it's a tough one for him.
A really tough one, I feel, for Tim Robertson. He's really had good form this year, but not getting all the orienteering right. Commiserations then for Tim. He will not be happy. I think he expected a lot of himself after this race, being in such good form, but no.
You could see in his body language that he knew that there's no chance for a medal today. But now let's focus for the fight for the medals here. Yannick Michels and Chris Jones. But first to the finish, Florian Håvard.
Florian Håvard there, and you can see he's already late, but he's looking for a top 10 result here. Will he be able to take that? Of course, his best result was 6th place back in 2021. He's going to be slower than that, but still a top 10 result in the world is incredibly impressive stuff.
Now very soon, very soon we will know the medalists, because here is Yannick Michels on the way.
Here is the Belgian. He's looking for medals here.
And he lost time there in the end, 24 seconds. That's not good enough to beat Gustav Bergman, but let's see in the finish.
It may well still be good for a medal though. Yannick Michels racing into the finish here. What can he do? He just is going to sneak out the Norwegian, so 3rd place currently.
So it's definitely a medal for Gustav Bergman, because there's only one runner to come, and it's Chris Jones.
So we wait for Chris Jones now, and Yannick Michels is kind of looking for any indication as to what he's done. I can see the Brits are standing by the last control, ready to cheer in this man, Chris Jones.
And it's the fight, Chris Jones against Bergman and also against Michels. I think he will beat Michels. Will he beat Gustav Bergman? We know Bergman is 16 seconds behind in the finish, so he has to speed up a little bit here.
So it's going to be seconds in it for the silver and the bronze here for Chris Jones.
The Brits will be so
ready to cheer him on. It's going to be incredibly tight. What can Jones do? He puts his foot on the gas. Will he get a silver? Will he get
He's very satisfied with that.
Very, very happy with that. He hugs the 2 medalists.
I'm so happy for him. He was such an active runner in the sprint relay, and he was such an active runner in the knockout sprint as well. Very well-deserved medal, and all of the 3 medalists today were very impressive in their route choices. Maybe the one who impressed most of them when like route choice-wise for me, it was Gustav Bergman. He almost picked all of them right, and but you can see that Kasper Foss is just on such an incredible speed throughout the whole course. It's kind of, you can kind of get Tuve vibes when he's running. You see him and it's like on rails. You never get the feeling that something could happen to him.
He makes it look incredibly easy, and he's not even probably in the best shape for him with his injuries that he's had. But he's such a championship performer. He really knows how to deal with the big occasion. And if you remember, this is only his 3rd ever World Championships, and the first one he did when he was a junior. Then he had a year out with, COVID, no races really at all, and incredible.
The first one he did and almost became the long distance world champion as well. So it's, I don't know where this will end with him after his career. He has so many years to come, and he already now is so dominating in all of the disciplines. I mean, all from sprint to middle distance and long distance he can win. He can win everything.
If Kasper Foss stays reasonably injury-free, if he has that motivation to keep on
obviously
working
he doesn't
hard,
even have to be injury-free.
Well, I mean, exactly. If he keeps on working hard and he can find that motivation, he's going to be full of medals. He's going to have to get a big trophy cabinet.
And you can see here. So we can see here all 3 of the medalists. They took this route choice, the straight one, as we mentioned before, and expected to be the fastest. Then different route to control 4. It's very hard to say which route is the fastest because the GPS is just lagging in some parts. Now we have Michels in, and now also we know why we have a change here. Chris Jones disappeared from the results, so they are double checking the results, and now we have also Michels here in this comparison, and we see that the only one going through the backyard there is Yannick Michels, and all the others were going more to the east there. So now here at the arena passage, we can see this route choice here for the first time. All of them going up straight there. Punching control 12, and here you can see really how big the gap already is between Fosser and the others. It's kind of the race more or less was decided at the arena passage. Not really. I mean, he could have missed, but there he had such a big gap that he even if he would have missed one of the route choices here in the end, he would still have the chance to win this. And it's just, I mean, it's mostly physically. He's so dominant. And here,
we're coming up to this interesting route choice, this 1 to 90.
Now look at the route here by Gustav Bergman. I think this is a very clever one to take. It was actually the only one going for this one. You can really see that there are different options. You can see Jones going to the very south. But I don't know, at one point maybe Chris Jones missed to punch one of the controls. Haven't seen anything here, maybe 19, but it can't be really because the women, they have almost the same course here. Now we go to an interview with Kasper Fosser.
Kasper, you're the world champion. Tell us about your feelings right now.
It's really amazing. I still can't believe it. It's like the start of this season was so difficult with me with my my injury and the last couple of weeks have been really tough. I had to drop the knockout sprint because I was afraid that I would have too much pain today if I ran a knockout. So this was my only chance to be an individual world champion this year, and I was like, I felt like a nerve wreck on the start, and it's such a good feeling to have made it, and I'm just really relieved.
What was the race like?
I think it was really clean race for me. It was super intense orienteering and difficult all the way. So I tried to stay controlled and always make sure that I had considered all routes and knew exactly where to go around each turn. And yeah, it was a perfect race. I'm really happy about this.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Interesting stuff, and we have a change to the results because unfortunately Chris Jones has missed punch. We didn't get the punch from him at control number 12, so that puts him disqualified with Yannick Michels into the bronze medal position then. An upgrade for Belgium, his first ever medal at the World Championships, and the top three then Fosse, Bergman, Michels. We will get them at the flower ceremony in just a few moments' time. Any other results you want to pick out, Jonas, at this point?
Well, I mean, we haven't been talking a lot about Yannick Michels yet, and he was just longing for this medal, and now he gets it. Maybe he would have wished to get it in a different way, but I mean, still, this is great. It's a medal for Belgium, and a great run for him. He was in the fight for the medals all the way, so here we get him in the picture as well. Very well deserved. He has been close very many times. Also Aston Key on the 5th spot is very impressive. Harvard Eight's move was a very good run there. Ralph Street had a good run as well. I mean, all the top 10 guys, you can really see that you need to have a very good run. Maybe one of the runners in the top 10 who would have liked to be a bit higher up is Matthias Kiburtz. He won the knockout sprint, now he ends up in 7th position. Of course, 7th is a good position, but he's 44 seconds behind, so it's quite a gap, and I think he would have wished to be a little bit closer. Also nice to see top 10 for Denmark, Jakob Edsen on 10th position.
Okay, so we will do the flower ceremony, or at least when we get Kasper Fosse here for the flower ceremony. But we will start nevertheless. We've got a couple of moments before Kasper needs to be here. Yannick Michels, a shake of the head here. Last minute upgrade for him. As a heartbreak for Chris Jones, and he's been aiming for this one for so long, this individual sprint medal. It's not the circumstances. Jonas, you said that he would have wanted to take this medal to see a fellow runner disqualified, but of course a bronze medal is a bronze medal. However way you win it, it's an incredible thing for him. Second place, the sprint focus this year has paid off. He is much more comfortable, I think, in the forest, but has proved himself here today. But to take another world title, Kasper Fosse proving he can do it once again after his wins also in the World Cup. He must now, of course, be the World Cup leader as well. Although, of course, he didn't get a result in the knockout sprint, but impressive stuff, really dominant and incredible running from Kasper Fosse. We will confirm the results very shortly before there is the medal ceremony. It just allows any teams to make any protest or anything like that. But there, of course, are the top three. Kasper Fosse, the risk to just focus on the individual has paid off. celebrations then for the bronze medal for Yannick Michels. What an afternoon of ups and downs of emotions for him.
Yeah, and also that he was saying something interesting in an interview before that, I mean, many of the runners have been focusing on sprint now for a year since the last World Championships, and that's actually something he has done for 10 years now. So he says that this, of course, those 10 years of difference of focusing make him a very strong sprint runner, and you could see that today.
It's orienteering remains a game of experience. Experience counts so much. It is so valuable for the runners, for the athletes, to be faced with different types of terrain, different challenges, different stresses, and then to be able to perform where it really matters as well. I think we will have some confirmation very soon of what happened then to Chris Jones. It's been heartbreak for him at several occasions. I look back to Latvia as well.
You can see it here. He missed control 3. See here, second control.
I think he goes back out the same way.
Yeah, and then goes to the fourth control directly, so he skipped control 3. So very tough for him, but of course, I mean, there are some extra seconds there if you have to pass control 3, so it's not that he, I mean, if he would have passed control 3, he would have missed the medals also, so it's, yeah, in a way maybe this will be better for Yannick Michels to kind of get the feedback that it's not due to just a punch that isn't given on the card, but it's really to a missed control, but of course it doesn't make it better for Chris Jones.
Absolutely not. Okay, we will move then on to the women's course. A whole other set of 45 runners to take their way through the course and through all the orienteering that we have here again. Those who are starting last are the top qualifiers, and we will have a look at the women's course.
Once again, of course, it's the same start for the women. We have seen it, it's not in the arena, then the same route, 1 to 2, where we have seen all of the top runners. They're going straight through this backyard, this yellow area there. Then the second control, we just jump over a loop in the men's course and go to 3, 4, 5. It's from there, it's the same course. And of course, they don't have to flip the map because they don't have as many controls in this first part. So they don't have kind of 2 map changes, only 1 at the arena passage at the point we are now. And they have exactly the same loop also on this second part, control 8, 9, and then this route choice to 10, another route choice to 11. And then here we are at the second TV control at control 13. It's the same TV control we have seen in the men's race. 14, 15, easy controls, 15, 16. The opportunity to go to the left as Gustav Bergman in the men's race. Good route there. 17, it's more or less just the left-right route choice and then back to the finish. So a very similar course to the men's compared to the men's one. A little bit shorter in the beginning, but from the second control we will see, the same controls in the women's course as in the men's course.
Yep, so we'll have a look at the start list here. Great to see an athlete from Japan making it into this final. Fantastic stuff, and a big range of nations that we've seen make it through. Anybody you're going to want to highlight?
Well, of course, we kind of have to highlight now Yves van Dongen, start number 16. I wonder if she will be as hot today as she was 2 days ago, because it's an individual sprint. She hasn't been actually orienteering for such a long time. She started in 2018.
Yes.
So
she has a
only
Swedish partner.
Yeah, but if we see that what kind of development she has been taking within 4 years, if we look 4 years ahead, it will be very interesting to see her. But then, of course, the big favorites in the very end. and the biggest name, of course, Tove Alexandersson from Sweden. Yeah, I mean, what else to say? She's the big favorite, and my guess is that she has to miss quite many controls here to not win this, but everything can happen. We have seen that in the men's race, and if you would ask Chris Jones, then he would confirm that.
Yeah, he absolutely would. But we want to start here with this athlete you just mentioned, Yves van Dongen. She is from the Netherlands. She picked up a bronze medal in that knockout sprint, and of course that will have given her a whole load of confidence. But it's very different, the individual compared to the knockout.
But I mean, if you look at the Swedish Championships, she has been running. She was also very competitive in the individual sprint. Even though it's, but of course, the course here is much more intense than the one they had at the Swedish Championships. But I mean, it shows that she is a very solid orienteer in sprint orienteering, and otherwise she wouldn't be there in the knockout sprint either, because even if you are in a group and you kind of can take the back of the runners, you still have to see the different options to choose the right back, and only, I mean, you have to be a very good orienteer to be able to see the fastest through choices and then also run as fast as the others.
I think that is Tekla Emilia Gvildita of Lithuania on the arena passage here. Going to exchange her map, and we can immediately have a look at a few of these route choices from a few of the early starters. Laura Robertson manages to take that good route choice.
But then she's going to the Hoopman choice there, I guess. Maybe it's hard to say from the GPS here.
Oh, here's Florence Tanae from France.
Yeah, almost missed out on this one.
This is to their control number 4.
Almost all of the runners we have seen running here, I think it was only Yannick Michels we have seen coming from the other direction to this TV split.
So who's the leader at this point? And now it goes 5th.
Yeah, it's Hedvig Valbjørn Jydesen from Denmark leading at first TV control.
See Zuzana Kovachova from Slovakia. She made it into the semi-finals a couple of days ago in the knockouts. Adela Finsulova was Adela Indrakova on her way through the arena passage, and she is exactly the same time as Laura Robertson in the lead. Laura Robertson arrived here in Denmark last night after last-minute issues. I think it was with a visa, so she only got the confirmation she was able to get to Denmark yesterday morning. So not the ideal preparation for her, a lot of stress, but I'm really glad to see that she was able to make it into this final.
And you can say that Laura Robertson, she lost 5 seconds from the first TV control to the arena passage compared to Adela Finsterlova. And here we have Yves van Dongen.
What can the Dutch woman do? She's gonna make a no, she just goes the Yannick Michels route into the 4th control. And I know there was loads of people very happy to see her take that bronze medal. There's a lot of people interested in seeing the medals be distributed to more nations, I think, in orienteering, to get that interest and not see the domination from the Scandinavian and the Swiss teams like we've often seen in the forest. Oh, she nearly misses there. And we'll see what she's able to do compared to Gudesen.
Just a little bit behind here. Still okay, 3 seconds behind at that point. We also seen that Finsterlova was able to catch a few seconds between the first and the second TV split, or between the first TV split and the arena passage.
Now Venla Lahaju has had a series of top 10 finishes at the Sprint World Championships throughout her career, and it'll be great to see her back up there again today. She's such a solid and consistent performer. And we've seen from the men's race how much experience counts, and she's got that.
Here we have the comparison between Van Dongen and Gudesen. We see that there's a good route choice by Van Dongen. Of course, it's also maybe not the best execution in this part there. It would be better to head a little bit to the south, just after this passage with the backyard, and then head to this passage closer to the red line. Then we saw this small mistake there, hesitation just before the entrance to control 5. And they split up here. Not really on the same route.
I think they are on the same route. It's the GPS tracking that's just quite off, but it looks like Van Dongen in the lead here. I think it's comfortable for her at this point.
Seems to have a
pace.
Bit of a faster pace here.
So we know the tracking is slightly behind real time, so I think we will follow Van Dongen into the 6th control and see her maybe through the arena passage, but we will head back to the start for Cécile Calandry, who is a really strong French sprinter.
She had a good run in the sprint relay. She finished 13th last year at the World Championships as well. One of the runners, you can really feel that she's getting better and better with every year.
Yeah, she's really on an upward trajectory. And this is Van Dongen. Let's see what her time is then when she hits this. It's a new leading time then here for the Dutch athlete. She'll get a lot of support here. She's now become a bit of a name. Oh,
she's taking a bath there.
Taking a bath indeed. It's quite nice to have the cooling effect of this water.
It's good for her that she can change the map now directly after this, otherwise the plastic would be filled with water.
Okay, back to the start though, for Caroline Jutterup.
The second of the Danish runners.
Yeah, 3 Danish women in this final. It'll be Ida Egvik Christensen, the third of the trio. Here's Velje on her way to the 4th control. You can just see how much she's got her head down, looking at that map, making sure she is checking the routes through, trying to store as much information in her head as possible.
See quite many more women taking this route here compared to the men's race. Turning now towards the first TV split, and you see that the leader there, Ana Isabel Toledo Navarro from Spain. Very good start. So we know she's not taking over the lead here. Velje 4 seconds behind.
Back at the start for a very interesting young runner from Switzerland, Elina Gempeler.
Her first start at the World Championships. 12th place in Borås, the World Cup, just a month ago.
Of course, no Natalia Gempeler, her stepmom here, who, because she is Russian, she is not allowed to race. I think she is trying to be able to race for Switzerland in the future. She is married to a Swiss, lives there.
She's got the Swiss passport, but she's not running. She's not a part of the Swiss team yet. Oh, and you can see interesting route there. Velje running to the south. And you can see that Toledo Navarro really executed this route very well, and that's also the reason why she's in the lead at control 5 at the first TV split. Also then she's to control 4. She actually picked all of the route choices very well here in the beginning, and here she is in the picture.
Yeah, here she is in the picture, and it's looking incredibly good for the Spaniards. She goes into the lead here, and Toledo, who was in the semi-final at the knockout sprint, looking very good for Spain.
That's
really
very
impressive
good, very
stuff.
impressive start here. I mean, we were talking about that before the race, that it's really when you have a tricky race like this and you have so many options and kind of so many possibilities to pick the wrong route, it really opens up for kind of an outsider to get at least into the top 10, because if you manage to pick all the right route choices all the time, you can kind of save a lot of time and energy there.
You absolutely can. So these are the standings at the split control number 1. That's control number 5 for the women's. And Isabel Toledo is our current leader. Still incredibly close. Our leader at the finish is Hedvig Valbjørn Gudesen. But Ifan Dongen will be through shortly as well. That's Venla Harju at the arena passage. She was in second place at that point, but we will follow the Lithuanian Vildita into the finish as well. She is too far behind. It's a big gap between places 1 and 2 at the moment. Gudesen, the Dane, and Robertson, the New Zealander.
Behind Hedvig Gudesen from Denmark.
Okay, here's Ifan Dongen, and we will take her through to our second TV split. It's number 13 for the women.
We can see at the arena passage, she's 8 seconds behind Ana Isabel Toledo Navarro. But she, compared to Gudesen, she is 9 seconds ahead there. Lost some time here in this second part. And now she lost the lead here. It's Gudesen in the lead, Danish lead here.
So not the lead. Such a great start. She picked pretty much all the best route choices through to the arena passage, but you've got to do good all the way through. Funslova, can she make it into the top 2? She will, yep. She won't beat Gudesen, still our leader, still the leader at the second TV split as well. And the Czech athlete goes into second place. Here's Susan Lush.
On the way to the second split. At the arena passage, she was 10 seconds behind Ana Isabel Toledo Navarro. And she was, let's see, she was ahead, 7 seconds ahead of Gudesen, but also she lost time, so very good second part here by the Danish runner.
Yeah, incredible second half of the course from the Dane. She still has a lead of 18 seconds at the finish. And at the moment, we've seen a lot of the women do this control in the way that we think is the best, which is to run straight through it instead of backing up and going round the other way.
A big time loss here. Anna Wisniewska 2 minutes behind the leader. Here we are with Caroline Göterup at the arena control. Into an 8th position, 15 seconds behind Ana Isabel Toledo Navarro.
But 2 seconds ahead of Gudesen, our current leader. That's what is interesting to see, though.
And let's see if she can defend the lead against the Spanish runner in the picture. Ana Isabel Toledo Navarro on the way to the second TV control now. So she lost a bit of time there.
A bit of time here.
Really good second part there, or first part of the second loop for Gudesen.
So we will get to later at the next split. maybe a small hesitation. For me, she's not got as good a flow. I think we will see others do this control with more pace. And she...
You can see here Gudesen now. Let's see what she did better than everyone else. Different route choice to 10. And then a good route choice here to 11. It's the one that was marked as the shortest one in the preview. So I guess that's the point where she was able to catch a few seconds compared to the other ones.
So Toledo took the lead, but will that be very shortly and swiftly overtaken by Venla Haju? Yeah, looks good for the Finn.
It looks a little bit faster, just physically, that she's faster running, better speed here, and here is Eve van Donker.
Okay, what can she do? The time ticks down. Will it be enough to take a new leading time? I think it's going to be tough, although look, you can see they've got the same time at Control 18. She will be cheered into the finish and to the finish line. Where will she place compared to second place, 1 second behind the Dane? Oh, tight stuff at this point in the race. And I think for the women's, if you look down the start list, the women are more consistent than the men. I think we really do. Whereas in the men's class, we had a lot of really top runners starting kind of in the middle of the pack. I think we will really see those incredibly top.
We are building up
runners
the excitement.
Right at the end. It's good to build up the excitement. If only Tove Alexandersson was starting last, but hey, I shouldn't complain, should I?
And here we are with Caroline Olsson. It's very, very disappointed after the knockout qualification where she missed the control. Then got the chance to jump in here.
I'm sure she feels like she's got a lot to prove. She was 6th. Her best result is from 6th in Latvia 2018, and it's close-ish at that first control. But she, I think, maybe was a late replacement, or maybe wouldn't be picked first for this individual.
She replaced Hanna Lundberg.
Exactly.
Who's injured.
And we must say Lina Strand was feeling not very well. She had a sore throat, so she's been replaced by Sara Hagström. So all change on the Swedish team, but they're so strong, and you know they have a great team, whoever they pick. So confirmation then, the top 10 at the finish at the moment, still the Dane in the lead, but we have got a long way to go. This looks like Alexandra Hornick. No, it's Agatha Olejnik, sorry. They look quite similar from behind.
They have the same running kit.
Yeah, well, that's also true. They have similar hairstyle as well. Come on, let me off.
Maybe we can give you a bit of information from the arena passage. There we have Ida Agervik Christiansson on position 2 and Inka Nurminen from Finland in the first position now. This is Caroline Göterup on the way to the second TV control, and then in a few seconds I think we will expect Eline Kempele there.
But here's Toledo through to the finish then. Gudesen still the leader. How will she compare to Gudesen and Van Donken? She looked quite fatigued, I think, through the second TV split. But
There's
she
a chance
is
here to
really
take over
powering
the
up the run-in. Oh, will it be a new leading time here? Oh, it is by 1 second. Oh, congratulations to Toledo there. New leading time here by just 1 second. But will her joy on the lead and the time on the leader's chair be short-lived? Here's Venla Haju. The time is looking very good for Venla Haju here. She punches the control, and I think this will be a very easy new leading time here for Venla Haju. Incredible stuff.
And this is now a real difference between Harju and Toledo, almost half a minute. Meanwhile, we have Karo Olsson at the arena passage, 17 seconds behind. We also had Eline Kempele at the second TV control. She punched there in a new best time, 3 seconds ahead of Venla Harju. You can see here GPS comparison. You can also see that Gudesen again had a very good route there to control 16. We have also to mention that the route choice by Venla Harju is almost as quick as the one by Gudesen. I think it differed around 3 seconds when we tested it, so it's quite similar.
There's a lot of route choices that are only a couple of seconds apart, but it's those couple of seconds that win you a medal or don't win you a medal. So you've really got to pick right all the time. Ingrid Lundenes.
But she's behind.
Is behind, maybe looking for a top 10 position as she goes through this second split. So into 7th then. Sara Hagström through to the arena.
But she's already a few seconds behind here.
She was a finalist in a knockout sprint, has all those races in her legs, but you can see maybe a route choice error to control in the first part. She was 20 seconds behind there. She's managed to catch up sometime afterwards, so opportunity to catch up some more time later on in this race. So short though, just the time runs out.
Cécile Calandry.
Pretty good for the athlete from France. Fast finish, and she will go equal third then with Gudesen.
And this is Ida Agervik Christiansson. A good race so far. Maybe with a chance for a second position to the second TV split. Let's see, she will be there in a few seconds.
So Gembele's time, just over the 11-minute mark there. What can Christiansson do? Checking her codes.
Checking it very carefully. That's not a good route.
That is not a good route, and not good to miss a couple of seconds there. Jutterup, Carolina Jutterup is in the finish here. Cheered through to second place.
Oh, she had a good finish here. Was able to get a bit closer. This is Inka Nurminen. And this will maybe be a new best time here. She had a good lead all the way from control 6. And will be at the second TV control just in a short while. And meanwhile we have Eline Kempele on the way to the finish. And this will be a new best time.
A new best time for Switzerland and for Eline Kempele. Solid work there, and she, let's have a look, picked up some time. She was behind Venla Harju. If we look at the arena passage, a really good second half. I mean, maybe we can see what happens.
Take a look here. Similar route choices. Then we are in this quite easy part here. 12, 13, 14, 15. See the route here. All three of them going on the same route. And it is a little bit of an advantage there for Kempele compared to Agervik Christiansson.
Okay, Caroline Olsen here. But you look at the split times, and she is dropping time all the way through here for me. 30 seconds down at control 10. she's got such a familiar running style. Full of motivation to make up from the missed punch in the knockout sprint qualification. And dropping even more time there, now 41 seconds behind. Ingrid Lundanes into the finish, it's 8th spot for her.
44 seconds behind the current leader.
Not satisfied. 44 seconds behind.
We have a new leader.
Immediately look and see if there were some better route choices there.
1 second faster than Inka Nurminen. And Elena Voss right now into 5th position. 4 seconds behind. Is very, very tight there in the top at the first TV split. But Andrine Wilhelmsen right now.
So Elina Gempele is on the leader's chair. Her time 14 minutes and 57 seconds.
This is Alexandra Ornik. Now it really
is her. But she is, already these 40 seconds down is not where she wants to be. She managed to make it into the semi-finals. In fact, she was 7th in the sprint in 2021, so maybe a bit of a disappointing start for her.
And this is Ida Agervik Christiansen now on the way to the last control and the finish, but she's late compared to Elina Gempele, but maybe a second.
She nearly misses the control as well. Oh, tough stuff, but she is going to be behind, I think, maybe the time of Harju as well.
I think she might have lost. Oh, she didn't lose 4 seconds there. But for sure 1 or 2 seconds towards the last control into a 3rd position.
Here's Alice Leake of Great Britain. She was only 2 seconds behind.
Getting closer and closer.
Emma Biesmo was the lead at the arena passage where you have... Oh, that's not control number 10, that's another control. But Alice Leake, can she take a new leading time here? Yes, she can. She needs to continue though.
And here we are with Elena Roos to the arena passage, punching into 4th position, only 3 seconds behind, and you can see that Benjaminsen also is up there, only 1 second behind.
Inka Nurminen then into the finish. She was faster than Elina Gempele at earlier stages, but has not had a good second part of this race. She is dropping down and will be just 3rd. 1 second ahead of Christiansen, who's sitting there next to her.
Here we are. And this is an interesting runner. She was a little bit behind at the first TV control. Then was in the lead actually at the arena passage, and now she's running for a good time even to the 2nd TV control.
Let's see how she compares then with Alice Leake.
This won't be fast enough.
But Alice took a second to hesitate there. We talked about it in the men's race.
Yeah, but it was really only 1 second hesitating, so it's not a lot of time.
No, but 1 second can be a difference in sprint orienteering. I think it's strange to see so few easy controls, and I think for me it's testing different parts of the sprint orienteering for me. Teresa Yanashikova, she's got her knee absolutely taped up here. She was one of those she actually fell during the knockout sprint, and I know she was hobbling around a little bit with her knee, so maybe not in the form that she wants to be in. What happens here?
Here we see Gempele. Hard to say with her GPS. I don't know what's... Maybe more the Olsson...
Oh,
she changes.
No, I think she just goes behind the other way. She goes the other way past the...
Yeah, very hard to say from this GPS.
River, I think she goes south of the river on the way to 9, which is not quick. Olsson, I think she will be disappointed with that one. 51 seconds behind. That is really not what she wanted to see at all.
Not the best championship for her, Caroline Olsson. Meanwhile, we have Marika Teini at the arena passage into 8th position, 12 seconds behind Emma Biesmo, who's in the lead still.
Her strength really is the middle distance.
And this is
Tove Alexanderson. Okay. There almost
turning a little bit too early there. We have to really mention every second of hesitation here for Tove.
We have to find some way to critique her performance. She doesn't give us many opportunities at all. And this is live then with some of the runners here.
Let's see there. I think Emma Biesmo was running into a dead end. So maybe losing time here. Or not maybe, she is definitely losing time here. So now she's not pre-warned yet. You can see it. Wasn't a good route from the beginning. Backing out from 15. And then running into this dead end. She will lose a lot of time here. She is.
Here's Sarah Hagström though into the finish.
Definitely.
Sarah Hagström is also late. We will follow her through, and then the next runner we will see is Alice Leek. So Sarah Hagström outside the top 6. Or maybe not outside the top 6. She's caught up a couple of places at the end, but Alice Leek is also on the run-in. Can Alice Leek take a new fastest time here? It's looking good, but what will the gap be? She's fighting hard here. And a big new leading time then for Alice Leek, big at this stage, 17 seconds.
You can see how she turned around the race between control 10 and 13. Definitely a few good route choices here in the second part of the race. So now this is quite a big gap between Alice Leek and Eline Kempele, and here we are with Elena Roos on the way to the second TV control. You can see at control 10, equal time.
And one runner who we haven't seen through at this point is Andrina Benjaminsen, who has gone equal fastest with Alice Leek at that point. Looking good for Elena Roos.
Let's see if I think she will have a new best time here. 15 seconds left. Definitely a new best time for Elena Roos. Didn't manage to reach the final in the knockout sprint.
But here is Tove Alexanderson. We actually didn't get her split time cut. I think we may have lost information from the split time.
You have her split time. She's in 19.
Behind. She was 19.
But now she's not way behind anymore.
Now she's only 2 seconds. You can see it there on the screen. 16 seconds behind at the first TV split. Now she's only 2.
And I mean that's what we were talking about before. She is really, I mean she can make mistakes and still win this race. I think she has. She would need other mistakes to let anyone else win this race, I guess.
But it can happen. We've seen that from Emma Biesmo, who was in leading positions early on, and she will be very annoyed, I think, with that. A little shake of the head from Emma Biesmo.
You could see that she didn't choose a good route choice out from control, let's see, 15, and then running into this dead end. There's a lot of time she lost there. And then she wasn't even on the fastest route this part, so it's like a triple time loss here. You can also mention that we have a fast time at the first TV control. Not in the picture here, but first split Megan Carter-Davis, new best time 7 seconds ahead of Andrina
Benjaminsen. Incredible start from Carter-Davis, but we will follow Anna Drikon. She has become the first leg runner for the Norwegian sprint relay team. Not that experienced, but this is a good result for her. Into the top 6, or just outside the top 6 then for Drikon at this particular point. Let's have a look. We can compare Leek and Alexanderson. Alexanderson must, we think, have made a mistake around here, because she is
here she was running into a dead end in the very beginning of this leg. There we have the time loss for sure. And then not on the best route there. Simona Abersold, another one, losing a lot of time in the beginning, but then was able to pick up, catch some time.
Up a good route, I think, from 5 to 6, the other long route choice leg. Into 6th place, equal with Elena Roos, who we know was fastest at the second TV split.
soon we are waiting for the runner we haven't seen in the picture yet, but it's a good split at the second TV control. Here she is on the way to the last control, Andrine Benjaminsen from Norway.
Andrine Benjaminsen, oh, I think it will be close with the time of Alice Leek. She's got a good finish here. She was just 2 seconds behind at the previous control.
This will be very tight.
It's going to be so tight. What can Benjaminsen do? Will she challenge that lead of Alice Leek? The finish line is coming very, very shortly. What will it be then? I think she will just be like 1 second behind Alice Leek. Oh, and the next runner we wait for is Elinor Roos.
And here we have the comparison, maybe also the reason why Abersold lost a lot of time in the beginning. She did exactly the same. No, she didn't. But she did a lot of hesitating, yeah.
Yeah, she went in a different garden.
We have seen that before. Who was it in the men's race?
I can't remember who it was. It feels like a long time.
I think it was Tim Robertson.
But Tim went further into the garden and lost more time. Okay.
Yeah, with Elinor Roos, and this might be a threat, but she lost time.
She has lost time, but she's got a fast finish. She's picking up 5 seconds between 17 and 18. She is such a quality sprinter.
This won't be enough to beat Alice Leek.
So Elinor Roos into the finish here. She will be outside the top 2 as well. Ticks faster, Benjaminsen. And Elinor Roos, she is such a consistent performer, but 3rd place currently.
And soon to come here in the picture, Tove Alexandersson on the way to the second TV split. And look at this, she's still behind at control 10. 6 seconds behind.
She's not managed to catch it up yet.
Compared to Elinor Roos though.
So remember, we have Alice Leek in the lead at the finish, so maybe we should be looking to compare that time of Tove Alexandersson.
It will be tight
Alice
even
Leek.
compared to Alice Leek. Alice Leek is 10 seconds behind at this second TV control. Let's see here. We have the time still 6. Yeah, I think this will be faster, definitely.
She's picking up seconds here, there and everywhere, and Alexandersson takes the lead.
But also we can mention at the arena passage, Megan Carter-Davis into a new best time. 14 seconds faster than Emma Biesmo, and we know that Emma Biesmo lost a lot of time, so she's 16 seconds faster than Tove Alexandersson.
And Megan Carter-Davis was the last starter as well, so but she is the last one there. Jana Shikova into 4th place, working really, really hard. She is, I feel like one day it will come well for her.
Here we might see why or where Elinor Roos lost time. Yeah, it was on the route choice, not a good route there. It was kind of she didn't do the triple Biesmo mistake, but she did at least one of it. The route choice in itself isn't it very good. I think this is the place where she lost the lead. And so the next runners we are waiting for, Simona Abersold to the second TV control, and then the last starter, Megan Carter-Davis.
But Alice Leek in the lead. Here is Simona Abersold. Looks like she's probably caught up Charlotte Ward here. She has indeed. Simona Abersold was the 2nd last starter. Charlotte Ward the 3rd last starter, I think.
But you can see at control 10, she's behind, 9 seconds behind.
And that's behind the time of Elinor or
Yeah, good question.
maybe Elinor Roos at that
I think
point.
it is Elinor Roos, yeah.
So we'll see what Abersold can do then.
Abersold at the arena passage was just behind to Alexandersson, 2 seconds behind. She's still behind. She's even further behind now, I guess. But it's not much. It's not much.
She is 10 seconds quicker than Alice Leek, our current leader at the finish, though. I think that's one you want to look
now
for.
we are waiting for Megan Carter-Davis coming to this second TV control as well. See here. You can see some of the orienteering of Megan Carter-Davis. Feels that she had some hesitation into control 5, but then had a good route here to get this lead. And And here she is.
She is then through to this TV split time. What can she do? Oh, it's really close at the top here.
We have really seen that many times now. The fight between Megan Carter-Davies and Tove Alexandersson.
I feel like they were in the same qualifier as well. I think the fates brought them together.
Yeah, and Megan Carter-Davies has beaten Tove Alexandersson in the qualifier.
Yeah, absolutely. And will she go into a lead here?
Yes, she will.
I think she will.
Oh, but it's tight. It's only 4 seconds.
Oh, incredibly tight, and there's still a bit of running to go. So Carter-Davies, Alexandersson, Abersold separated by 6 seconds then. Ahead of Eleanor Ross, who's already into the finish. Alice Leak in first place currently, remember.
And we have about 4 minutes of running to go. We haven't seen that control yet, but here is Alice Leak in the lead, and in about a minute we are waiting for Tove Alexandersson. She's here in the picture. Let's see how this race is developing for the big star of the sport, Tove Alexandersson.
She is the huge star of orienteering, and we'll see what she is able to do. Alice Leak waiting nervously at the finish line. And it's going to be, I don't think that was the
and look at that, 19 seconds behind at control 17. 12 seconds at 18. I don't think she's going to make it. She most definitely not.
Tove Alexandersson will not win here today. She is late. She's proven that she is human. She is incredible, but it's not hers today.
And,
so Alexandersson, she is outside of the top 3.
And I can tell you, Catherine, we will have a British victory today. It's either Alice Leak or Megan Carter-Davies who is going to be the world champion.
Well, victory or no, because we've still got Abersold to go through.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm not there yet. So they've got a medal.
So let's
One of them
see
has
here.
got a medal. But
Alice Leak, and yeah, you can see that Abersold is ahead. I totally forget about Abersold. Of course, we have to count Abersold in because she is ahead of Leak.
And she's running alongside Charlotte Ward, the two of them running together. But Megan Carter-Davies is the last starter. Alice knows that, I think she's got a medal because it won't be Charlotte Ward. Yeah. She knows she's got a medal.
But what a performance by the British team at this World Championship. But let's take Simona Abersold, of course. I totally forgot about Abersold, to the finish.
And it's looking very good for Simona Abersold. It looks like she will overtake Alice Leak here. But Alice, she was 4th last time. She will get a medal this time.
And here, second last control. So it's now only to cross this street. Punch the last control. This definitely will be a new best time.
So a new best time for Simona Abersold. It's going to be fantastic. She's worked her way up throughout this after not being in that much in contention at the beginning, but Abersold, she will get a silver medal at worst here. And we wait for Megan Carter-Davies.
What a race by Simona Abersold. I mean, she was at the first TV control. She was 19 seconds behind, and now we are only waiting for Megan Carter-Davies.
So here she is, Megan Carter-Davies.
And it looks good for her.
In the lead here. She's really got to run super fast to be able to make it.
This is going to be so tight here. Punching the second last control.
Checking the flash here, checking the beep. It's looking incredible.
Oh, this is going to be good enough.
The cheers here as Megan Carter-Davies punches the last control. And will she be a world champion?
Yes, she will.
She's got 2 silvers on this competition already. The smile is on her face. Megan Carter-Davies does it. She is the world champion. And that is absolutely incredible. Tears all around from the British British team. Charlotte Ward giving her a hug, and my goodness me.
I mean, what a championship for the British team. First, they take the medal in the sprint relay. Then we have the medal of Megan Carter-Davies in the knockout sprint, and then now they have 2 medals. And think of it.
Hang on, I'm waiting until we get the download here because
I'm sorry, but at least 1 medal it will be, and I'm very sure that there will be 2 medals.
Goodness
but you could really, I mean, she was so good during the last competition. She was so good in the knockout sprint. Of course, we needed a not perfect run by Tove Alexandersson to make this happen, but she was there. She was there in Borås, was very close. She was there in the knockout sprint, was very close, and now it feels as if she was on the waiting list until something happens at one point with Tove, and very well deserved. Yeah. Also for Alice Leak, what a history for her as well. And
she's been gradually improving.
But we also have to name Simona Aebersold. She has struggled a lot with injuries, and she didn't have a good start into this race. I almost forgot about her.
There,
she had a big mistake. And in the end, I mean, it really needed mistakes from the 2 big favorites, or for the 2 big names from the last years, to make this happen. But I mean, you have to be ready when you get the chance, and Megan Carter-Davies most definitely was ready when she got the chance today.
Yeah, you have to
and
not make
here,
a mistake. I think
there was a small mistake
there.
at control 5, but then she had a good route out from control 5 to 6. Also here you can see that all of the medalists were running through this backyard, but the gap here is huge already. Good route here by Alice Leak. I guess this is the fastest one.
Yeah. For me, it's a little bit slower from Aebersold there.
Then this quite physical part. I mean, all the way from control 5, the second part of the route to control 6.
Not the quickest route, I think, there from Carter-Davies to 8.
No, but not the slowest one either. And then here you can see that Aebersold is getting quite close. So maybe you have to see if there is another route where they split up. Good route here by all 3 of them. This is the shortest route.
And you can just run straight through from the little passageways back into the courtyards behind. Very strong.
Same routes here as well, of course, to control 12. There's not much of a route choice to 13 either. Interesting will be control 15 to 16, because there are different options on this route. See that both of them are going this middle way, which is quite good. It's not the shortest one, but it's a good one. All 3 of them actually chose to do this. And you can see it's really, apart from this mistake by Aebersold in the very beginning, they did a really good job with choosing the route choices here. There's not much to complain
about at all, no. I think when you look back at the analysis and you look at the difference, then it's incredible. So I think we will hear from the winner now, from Megan Carter-Davies.
Megan, you're the world champion. Explain your feelings right now.
I'm really amazed. I'm quite surprised. I don't think it'll sink in for a while. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it off that race, because I did stop a lot to check my routes, and I didn't think I would be going as fast as Tove. But I really just tried to take it as cleanly as possible, and I think I did that. I don't think I lost any time really. It was just, it didn't feel like my highest speed because I stopped so much. Yeah.
You were a good runner before, but now you're the best. What have you improved to this season?
I think my self-confidence is the main thing. Like believing that I can compete at the highest level, and just aiming to race like normal, like I do in Britain. Yeah, we've got a really good standard of girls in Britain, and guys as well. Like the team standard is crazy at the moment. and I think we all just keep raising the bar for each other, and yeah, that's kept me focused in the last few years.
What do you think this will mean to you?
I think it'll, well, yeah, we've got Edinburgh in 2024, so I'm going to try and defend it, obviously. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Two very interesting things. She mentioned that she stopped a lot.
Which we kind of saw on the tracking a little bit.
That the focus was on picking the right route choices, and you can see that. I mean, there were, as much as I can see, there was no really bad route choice there. And the second one is the self-confidence. I mean, you can feel that when she's starting. Of course, you can see that she knows about that. That she's maybe not going to win if she has a good race. But only the fact that she dares to stop before she is taking decisions shows that she has great self-confidence, because that's exactly what you do when you're not sure and you have the confidence that you could end high up in the result list. Then you dare to stop and dare to make good decisions.
She's such a humble person who has a great team around her. She is so generous to everybody around her. But if I look back to a couple of years ago or before the pandemic, where she didn't necessarily think she'd make, she didn't really feel like she belonged in a final of the knockout sprint. She went out in the semi-final. It just didn't feel like she believed. That difference has made it so much. Alice Sleek, she's improved. She got a top 10 at the World Champs in Latvia. She got 4th place in the Czech Republic. She's now improved that to 3rd place, and she's realised that what she just has to have is kind of a normal run. You don't have to do anything special, but you have to just not make any mistakes, and that's a normal run for her, and you end up with a bronze medal. And
I'm kind of happy. I promised you a gold medal, and you got one.
I'm trying to be unbiased this whole way, but I've known the team now for a good few years, and it's amazing to see them have that success.
I mean, it's really amazing to see that team, and that's also something she mentioned here, that they have such a high quality in the trainings and in their team now. I mean, you can see it here.
Yeah.
2 runners in top 3. Chris Jones, who missed out from the medals, very
and Ralph Street
unlucky,
in the
and Ralph Street in top 6. The sprint relay team is really amazing, so it looks good for Edinburgh.
Yeah, bring on Edinburgh 2024, that's what I say. There will a lot of expectation, of course, going to be on the British team at that point, but
maybe the most emotional runner today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, she didn't have a very good World Cup in Sweden, in Borås. She set a new 5k PB coming into this, so she kind of knew her form was there, but maybe not the confidence in her orienteering. And for me, that is incredible stuff from Alice.
Also very impressive. We mentioned that before. Simona Abersold struggled a lot with injuries. She was not in very good shape in Borås. You could see that. I mean, the shape was. She was performing okay, but
not where she wanted it to be.
Yes,
though.
Exactly.
Her quest for a world title continues, though. A gold medal continues, but the new world champion to end the run of Tove Alexandersson's wins at the World Cup. I am delighted to say it is Megan Carter-Davies, and I can't quite believe it, to be honest.
And Gustav Bergman in the men's race saved the streak of Sweden. They are the only nation still who have won a medal at every sprint race at the World Championships. And it was close. We would not have expected that Gustav would be the one saving this streak.
Of all of the Swedes,
of course he would have had the chance, but we would have
expected it to be Tove Alexandersson. So congrats to those top 3. Shall we end with some thoughts about this World Championships as a whole? What have you made of it? We look at the medal table there. Sweden, of course, at the top. Great Britain in 2nd place, but for me, it felt like a really technical set of races, and you had to do fantastic orienteering to be able to win any of those medals.
Yeah, it was very high-class competitions. not only from the athletes but also from the organizers, the course setters. For me, I mean, the highlights of this week: Yves van Dongen winning the medal for Netherlands, Yannick Michels winning a medal for Belgium, and then the performance by the British team was just great throughout the whole week. Kasper Fosser returning in an impressive way. Also the style, Kiburtz won his title, was very... we had very interesting races throughout the whole week, and that's cool.
A very incredible World Championships all round. Thank you so much to everyone who made it happen. Congratulations to our medal winners from throughout the week and today. And I think the next time we will see you will be for the European Championships in Estonia. So we will see you then.
See you then.
Of this great event. What a sport! I didn't know I liked orienteering. It's a great sport. It's exciting, even though the Swedes win too much all the time. We have had more than 350 elite athletes competing over the last 3 days, and more than 800 amateur athletes. Let's give them an applause, all of them.